And you've used the result of the no, which is tension, distress, and you said, wow, I've got something to rise above. And when I do it, wow, I will have said to the devil. Well, no, because there ain't no devil. There's just you saying yes or no. Please stand up.
Look, baby. Let me see it.
Saying yes is not assertive, is it? It is not an expression of personal power because you're saying yes to something else. Saying yes is yielding to something else. No is what is an assertive self-statement of power and supposed force. You see? Resistance is what the ego does. Yielding to and saying yes is what you in your divine right do. It's the nature of being. The true nature of being is one of constantly yielding to what God is being forever new. You see, you want things to change, but you're afraid to change yourself. Because God is love, whatever degree to which you say yes, you will be met with agreement, you will be met with acknowledgement. You will not be met with a judgment that says, you've got to say yes better. You see? So you don't have to scare yourself with the prospect of change. You can say yes and let change in slowly. But please understand that more is available to you, and no one is withholding it from you just because you're chicken and don't want too much of your good too fast. What I've shared with you is not too simple. The ultimate answers are always utterly simple. And even though your thinking mind says there's got to be more to it than that, There's nothing more to it than that. It is good to see you. It is good to see you with you having said yes more than the last time I saw you. And it is good to see you in the absolute perfection of your being that I can see you in. And it's not my sight that makes you look better than you are. It's the fact that I'm saying yes to God that allows me to see what God is being right there, right now, in its utter perfection. Because it's there right now. And you might be inclined to say after the next 2 or 3 weeks, well, I've done what he said, I've done what I've said, yes, 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 God, yes, God, yes, God. And, well, there's been a little improvement, but not as much as all the yeses that I said should have brought. Habits die hard. Habits never have you, but you hold on to habits. All of you hold on to your habits. And so if there isn't more progress, it's because you're holding on more than you need to. And so you persist, not because God is answering you slow, but because letting go of an old habit and being in a new way is something you will do, something you will give permission for on your own terms and in your own time. And if you're doing it slowly, persist anyway. But be aware that it's not because your healing is being withheld from you, but because this is as fast as you can go in the face of your fear of what your good is going to require of you. And then knowing that, you will know why it's worth it to persist. You won't be deluded. You'll say, I know God isn't withholding it. I know I'm not embracing more any faster than I'm embracing it. But because I'm the one withholding it from myself, I'm also the one who can keep his dander up enough to persist in letting go of a little bit more of my habit.
Can it be that I got the problem because I needed to learn something new and better, and I wouldn't forget it any other way?
We need to be very careful about this. It is never a matter of God or the divine wisdom setting out a path for you, for your own good, to help you learn what you need to learn. Rather, it is that you might say, as you began to say no to God, and you began to go down an independent path based upon things you chose to believe, that you created a path, as it were. And when the time comes that something in you decides to return home, you can't come home on someone else's path. You have to come home on the path you left your perfection from. And so each step back home uncovers and nullifies, by proving its nothingness, whatever the beliefs were that you took hold of on the way away from home. And so it gets undone. And so it's always specific to you, because it's specifically undoing a mistake that you did on the way out. You see what I'm saying? So this is perfect for you, because it will uncover to you the misinterpretation or the misunderstanding that you embodied on the way out. And so you will be able to say, yes, this had great value for me. If I had been sick like Aunt Clara with whatever she had, it wouldn't have done it for me. Heck, I could have handled that, because that's not one of the misunderstandings you embraced and embodied on the way out, you see? So it will always be perfect. And everything you're met with will be right on the nose for you, because it's your mistake that's being undone and released as you come home. You see? So it will be perfect for you, but not because God set up the situation for you, because He knew this would help you best, even though it hurts. You see?
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm always so happy to see you here.
I sometimes am and sometimes not, but I am really good right now. I think it's wonderful.
We will take a break. Okay. Yes.
I just want to say that my view is that this place means a lot more, much better. I like this a lot, very, very much, and I'll bet you that if you keep on within three days, you'll end up full. And I hope that you would stay on earth. That's all I wanted to say. And thank you again for what you said. Wonderful people here, and you gave me too much time, but that's all right with me.
You are welcome. I do want to add to what I was saying to you, that although I said that habits don't die easily, that doesn't mean that you should not always include the possibility of instantaneous healing.
I want that.
Then you must allow for it. You must let it happen. You cannot demand that it happens. You cannot, so to speak, put in your orders to God. Quick healing, please. Because you're the one letting it in. You know what? You all think that your mindsets are real solid. You all think that what you believe is real firm, but it isn't true. And that's why an instantaneous healing can occur. The only reason you ever seem to be stuck in a situation is because you can't justify not being in it. That's very important. The only reason you ever feel stuck in a position is because you can't justify not being in it. And the moment you can justify it, you will let go of the reasons for holding on to it. Your beliefs are fabulous. And what I mean by that is they don't have much substance. Fabulous and fable go together. Fabulous means of an illusory nature. All of your beliefs are fabulous. They don't have the substance that you think they do, and the only thing that seems to give them substance is the force you bring to holding on to them. And the moment you can justify not holding on to them, at that moment they'll be gone, and you'll have instantaneous healing or instantaneous resolution of whatever was going on. You started out by saying, I either want to be healed or I want to be dead. Well, I didn't believe you for a minute. You will find, all of you, if you'll pay attention to yourselves and others, that when a person makes a declaration that seems to be negative, they are really saying, give me a reason not to believe this way. What happens, though, is that when you hear somebody come on to you in a very declarative way and a very negative way, you feel a need for self-protection and defense. You feel challenged because they seem to be saying, this is the way it is and this is the way you've got to see it too. But the fact is that whenever any of you come out with declarative statements like that, you're really hoping that the person you're saying it to will be able, in a few words, to declare that the way you're seeing it isn't valid and there's another way to see it. But if you become defensive, you've missed the point and the opportunity. A Course in Miracles says that everything is either a call for love or love. Love is obvious to everyone. A call for love looks like hate. It looks like negativity. It looks like jealousy. It doesn't look like love. And so when you're confronted with somebody who's in a state and they're aggressively negative or aggressively declaring something that you wouldn't want to believe, and it looks like hate, either mild hate or severe hate, being expressed, if you're not careful, you'll miss that instead of it being an attack for you to cope with, it's a call for love. Which means a call for a perspective that could release them from whatever they are so boldly declaring, you see? The Christ of you, if you're willing to be in touch with it, is able to respond to the behavior as a call for love and respond with love that proves that whatever was said doesn't have to be committed to any further by that individual. Whether that individual recognizes it at that moment or not, the Christ of you can respond with clarity and love that heals. You see? I am not suggesting that you're obnoxious here, but obnoxious people are people asking for release. They're asking for somebody not to react to their obnoxiousness, but to be the presence of love that releases them from the discomfort of their state of being that they're currently experiencing. And you know, sometimes it's as simple as Paul's relationship with his son. There was a point at which, when his son was being obnoxious, that Paul realized that what was needed was a hug. It was like, oh, you need a hug. And he gave him a hug, and that was the end of it. Whereas before that, Paul was trying to be appropriate. Fatherly appropriateness, you know. And all that was needed was a hug. Sometimes it's that simple. That's a simple expression of the meaning behind the words, looking in your brother's eyes and remembering God. You see? Okay, hands. Right here in the front.
Would you please address my present state of mind? And does living back in Port Townsend have something to do with it? Is there another place I might live that would be more fruitful for me in work?
Not until your state of mind changes. You've got to find reasons to love. And you've got to find things to love. Your state of mind lacks appreciation at the moment. Only because it didn't occur to you to engage your mind in that way. Gratitude. No matter how many things there are to be ungrateful for, there are actually always more things present to be grateful for, even if it's the trees. Even if it's that you're not experiencing pain in your hands. Even if it's that you're not alone, even if at times the company isn't pleasant. There's always things to be grateful for. And there is a verse which I will share. A grateful heart, a garden is, where there is always room for every lovely, godlike grace to come to perfect bloom. You are being fooled into thinking that there are things that require you, there are things that require your attention, and you therefore don't have time to be grateful for things that are around to be grateful for. You are seduced into thinking that it's more important to attend to the problem. But without gratitude, the problem can't be solved harmoniously. And so, you have to make a decision to put the grievance on the back burner, to put the problem, and take time to be grateful. Even if you have to go out for a walk and you couldn't be in a better place to go out for a walk in, surrounded by beauty. How are you going to utilize your mind? To mull over grievances? Or to be grateful for what there is to be grateful for? And then, in the context of what you're grateful for, be the presence of love in the arena that needs to be healed. Do you see? But if you go into that arena where there's healing needed, without gratitude, without bringing gratitude with you, you'll simply be the other half of the problem. You can be miserable anywhere. And you can feel good anywhere. Be willing to use some discernment, like standing as a sentry at the doorway of your thinking. Monitor what's occupying your thinking house, and be careful what you invite in to entertain. If you invite in feelings of injustice and how to get justice, and you entertain it, it will mess up your house. And you will have a heavy-duty house cleaning at the end. Don't occupy your thought with all the ins and outs of the problem and how unreasonable it is. If you feel vulnerable, then to be very frank with you, it means you have your ass on your mind. And what I mean by that is you will be constantly engaged in protecting it, defending it. And I shared something with Paul a couple of weeks ago. I told him that when he's protecting his ass, he becomes a piñata.